Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. Today, I'm your host, Alan. If this is your first time, we are delighted that you have chosen to join us today. We are extremely grateful for this opportunity to touch so many people and to share the wonderful happenings at CSL Charlotte. So please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We add our recordings to our website each week. So let me tell you a little bit about who we are. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community, living an ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. This science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh, new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. So let me tell you a little bit about what we do here. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy is honored along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinctions. This is a diverse community. There are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, or spirit. But whatever you call it, that is your power that resonates within you. You do not have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime. We recognize and refer to many of the scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, Torah, and the Bhagavad Gita, just to name only a few. So let me tell you a little bit about our vision here. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of all individuals. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tool to do just that. So come and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And I would like to share two quotes with you today. Today's theme is Live Out Loud. And the quotes I'm sharing today is from a famous celebrity who has mastered the art of living out loud. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe what it tells you on your driver's. You are an extension of the power that created the whole universe. I've never personally differentiated a person who dressed up in a three-piece suit and goes to Wall Street from a person who dresses up in a polyester uniform and works at McDonald's. I think it's all random. And the famous celebrity is RuPaul. So welcome everyone. And during this fabulous service today, as we celebrate this powerful fabulousness which lives within each and every one of us. So remember, whether you're working the capital or working your spiritual practices, our leader lives by RuPaul's model. You better work it, don't you? So now we'll pass the mic over to our vivacious living legend, Reverend Rosedale.
He took me by surprise with that last one. You better work it, girl. Welcome, live streamers and virtual community and everyone everywhere. Welcome to CSL Charlotte, the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. This is Women's History Month, y'all, so just know that. And we're still celebrating our women, and you will hear a little bit about one of these powerful women in a minute. So in celebrating the integration of mind, body, and spirit, we at CSL Charlotte, we open up our celebration with affirmative prayer. Now, opening first on our platform, we have our prayer coordinator, Reverend Millie. And that's our treat today because she prays because she loves to. I know every time I ask her for a prayer from her, she'll find it from somewhere right away and it comes right on out. So guys, it's amazing to know personally, for me to know that someone has my highest when I say to them, pray for me. So she comes and she just knows that what she has to do and she does it. So with that being said, know that she knows what she's got to do this morning. And please, Reverend Millie, do us the honors.
Thank you so much. How wonderful it is to stop, drop, and pray at every opportunity. And so let us close our eyes. Close your eyes with me if you're comfortable. And let's just head into that direction. Let's just be. Let's just be. That is what we're here to do. Always and in all ways. As I know and acknowledge and recognize that Spirit, God, Yahweh, Allah, whatever you choose to call it, is all that there is. I know that I am one with this absolute power. And as I know that I am one with this absolute power, I know this for each and every sentient being on the planet. And so I invite us all to just be in that place and in that space of receptivity, of love, of peace, of abundance, of encouragement, of the words that we hear today from Reverend Rosedale and from our complete platform and our program today, knowing that our souls are absolutely fed and happy when we're here and in the present moment. And so I just say, thank you, God. Thank you, love. Thank you, light. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for all things. Thank you for this beautiful, blessed community. And for all who may join us today, I know for them that they are blessed. And so I release this prayer now into the law, knowing that my words will not return to me void. I release it to that law of mine that just makes it so. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. Thank you, Reverend Millie. That part about I know that present moment is just powerful, because I know that when we're in the present moment, we're in the presence. So we're in the presence, guys, this morning of all of us. So remember that. Next on our platform is our reader, Jariva Trailer, AKA, I'm so used to saying JT now, I always twist my tongue there. So that's what makes me know that it's going to be easy to get her to do some readings for us, because she does very well. So that said, with no further ado, I invite JT to come up and do our reading for us. So let's go. JT, let it do what it do.
Good morning, everyone. Today's reading is from the March edition of the Science of Mind magazine. It's actually part of the daily guides written by my former musical director, Reverend Dr. Michael Gott. The title of the daily guide is The False Face. Belonging to ourselves means being called to stand alone, to brave the wilderness of uncertainty, vulnerability, and criticism. Brene Brown, Braving the Wilderness. Another quote, the only God a person knows is the God of their own inner life. They can know no other. To assume that we can know a God outside ourselves is to assume that we can know something of which we cannot be conscious. Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind. We are conditioned by a family system and culture to edit ourselves, to create and present a public persona that hides our weaknesses and character traits that have received judgment from others. Naturally, who wants to be rejected? The acute sensitivity to how we fit in the group is our biggest difference from our nearest cousins, the chimpanzees. Although they live and work in close social groups, they don't collaborate and work together in any way close to the degree we do as humans. There is a real evolutionary advantage to our adaptive behaviors of fitting in. And yet, our souls demand authenticity, and sometimes at a great cost. Herein lies a core paradox of our lives. We do not care what others think about us. We do care about what others think about us. The only people who do not are sociopaths, as Brene Brown reminds us. And we are impelled to break through our fear of rejection, to tell and to live our deeper truth. I'm leaving this relationship. I'm trans. I'm starting a new career. Scary stuff to risk being ourselves more truly. And so rewarding. When we drop the false face and live our authentic lives, we shine. And we attract new companions who honor and love us for who we are. Shine on, sweet souls, shine on. And the affirmation, my desire is for good to be revealed. Everywhere I look in my life, I see spirit revealed. I am guided into perfect choice and perfect action today and every day. And so it is.
Wouldn't you like to be the person giving someone else the soft place to land? Be the light in the dark for that stranger, because not everybody knows what we know. And it's always good to just take a deep breath in and draw it in and imagine how great it feels to be that hand for some stranger that needs you. Good, just take that time. And then you see it, the reverse, when you are the one to need that hand, that soft place to land. When the road gets crazy and rocky, you come to this safe place to land, then they get to live out loud. Each and every time, there's always somebody there, but we just have to know they are. So just wiggle your fingers and your toes and allow your mind to get in place as you take in the words and the rest of the message for the next song to come. So visualize this. I'm just taking a gratitude moment right quick. And first, I give great thanks to our amazing MC, Horace. The 18. Well, we make mistakes because that's what it's all about. And then we recover, right? So also with JT's reading about the false face, oh my God, our topic, Live Out Loud, came to life. So thank you, JT, for that. And to the awesome Reverend Millie, oh my goodness, thank you for that heartfelt opening prayer. Because in this moment, everything is all right. That prayer just brings me out loud. So speaking of our prayer, our ecclesiastical team is going to continue holding the high watch over our service today, that it unfolds, and to know that everybody that wants gets today and the rest of the week. Meanwhile, I'm keeping the gratitude in my heart for all of those healings that I have seen just this past week. So for those of you who would like to experience some healings of any type, join our consciousness meetings on Tuesday nights, which you will also hear more about. And I'm sure Reverend Millie is going to tell you later about the live prayer. Be knowing that we are a safe place to land. Now, our talk title today is Live Out Loud. And I want to get into that false face for a little bit that JT mentioned in her reading. You see, people have a tendency to disguise themselves with masks, right? For different reasons, right? Some people wear the costumes to disguise themselves as a party or festivity. Some people create a shield against some perceived harm or make-believe harm that they believe that could come to them. Not so. It's just all our perception, right? Sometimes the harm that people perceive stems from a fear or maybe some kind of erroneous belief rather than physical realities. Sometimes we think things are going on and it's really not. It's really stopping us from living out loud. You see, people often hide their true thoughts and feelings from each other in order to fit in, like the reading said, or be accepted. In the false face. This reminds me of her reading when she says, JT's reading, when she says, we are conditioned by family systems and culture. Listen to that. I like the way they use it, though. I'm not mad at it, but it's good. And what we do is with these two systems is we edit ourselves and we we try to learn from what they tell us and what they don't like and do not like from us. We try to present this persona that our parents and stuff could say, oh, you behave, or our friends could say, oh, you are this way, that way, you know, and we just do this so we don't get this judgment from other people, you see. But you see, the mask or false face is being placed, it's like placing our light in a house with no windows. We're restricting the true authenticity of ourselves from escaping. But you know what? What's better if we can learn to put that light in a place with bunches of windows and let that light go out somewhere of those windows so it can reach and direct love to all those people who are inspired by our light. That is one way to live out loud. Just knowing that I'm sending out love, I'm sending out light, I'm living out loud, because it feels good when I see someone's feeling good behind something I did, right? But you know what? All too often people try to play safe. And you see, playing safe provides a sense of false security. Yes, indeed, it does. You see, let's keep in mind that when we rely on being safe behind a false mask or a false face, that we can damage ourselves and a lot of other people in the long run. It's real important that we take care of that. See, because we cannot experience intimacy on a true level, nor can we experience the mind, body, spirit integration if we hide all the time. You know, JT's reading also asks, who wants to be rejected? True story. People are scary. It's scary to be rejected. You know, it's unfortunate that so many people hesitate to be genuine, and so they prevent themselves from attaining that true joy in their life. You know, and then there's another thing, sensitivity to whether I fit in or not. You know, I build my grandson up from that. I see that sometimes he won't go into a place because I know it, but I nudge him in a nicer way without making him feel it's bad or good to be what you are. Just be who you are. But the thing is, people have a big sensitivity to fitting in. Give people that respect. Don't be mad at them for being who they are. You know, and just let them be, but you'll learn from them when you say, oh, I saw that, that's how they were, and I don't think I like being that way, you know, and show people if you got that much patience with others, right? So that's just one of the main reasons why people are unhappy and they don't feel authentic, because they're hiding behind a mask. And you think because someone doesn't smile or whatever, that there's something going on, but it really may not be. It just may be they don't feel they fit in. And if you love them and they love you, then show them how to fit in. Yet, at the same time, like JT said, it's rewarding when we just drop that false face and we live our authentic lives and shine. That's another way, again, to live out loud. You know, you're shining, you're happy, you know? So when we do all of that, like we begin to clean up our inner self, we attract new companions who honor us and who love us for who we are, not somebody that tell us this is how I want you to be. So turn on that light. You know, I got kicked out of vacation Bible school a lot of times as a kid because I used to ask too many questions. And I fell from the grace of my family system a lot as I think about it when I heard the word family system. And that really meant my mom or my brothers and sisters said, you know, because I was always the one with, no, I guess I lived out loud, I guess, and they just needed me to tone it down, you know, but I was a mess, but I'm just laughing at myself. But you know what? The other day, my daughter said that, Mom, you always laughing at your own jokes. I don't get it. I said, I know, right? But you know what? All that talking I used to do now, it just gets me out of my messes, you know, the messy days. But anyway, eventually, like I said, I got kicked out a lot of these things because I was trying to be myself and they didn't like it. So I kind of fell into the herd, if you will, of the family system and culture, but only until I got a little older. You know, you can't hush what a personality, you can't hush it unless you do. And if you do hush it, that person can turn into somebody who is so not themselves. So I don't want to hush people, and I don't want people trying to hush me, but they can't now. But in hindsight, this is what I saw. I see how my desire to fit in, it must have been more higher on my list of priorities at the time when I was a child. You know, what can I tell you? But so far, this is what I know. I became a person, a go along to get along person as a child, rather than live out loud until I reawakened. And see, we all awake as a child and things happen to put us to sleep. But when you realize this is not who I am, it's time to reawaken. So needless to say, as a young adult, I started the game of life with a very low self-esteem. So now I have so many people in this world that I am totally myself around, and I just will not be around people who can't work with who I am. I no longer let the fear of rejection keep me from maintaining my authentic self with my mind, my body, and my spirit's integration. I am in touch with all of it. 24/7. When I'm out of touch with it, there's something going on, and suddenly it'll remind me, hey, you are dealing with that. Get out of this. Time to live out loud, because that's what I'm going to do. Get real loud. Well, I don't know how to read, but you know what? Here's another thing that occurred to me back in the day. At some point, I said to myself, when I was learning to move on and become more awakened, because I'm always becoming more awakened. I will never be at the top of my awakeness, if that makes sense. But anyway, I remember I said, well, I could never do that. This was something I had to release, was projection, because projection scares you to think that you're not going to fit in if you're projecting something on another person. Projection is when I used to assign something to other people that was really what I felt inside of me. Here's an example. Projection, well, not example, it's a definition, a psychological definition, but projection is a form of a defense mechanism. Okay. And what happens is people who project are attempting to assign something on someone else so that they can hide their low level feelings and emotions. So maybe back in the day when I was hiding my low self-esteem and my low confidence and stuff, I saw that when I look back, because I often admit to myself when I'm thinking about how things are going now, remember, I have to admit that I started this wonderful life that I'm living today with low self-esteem. So anybody could do it. So don't lose patience with people, Rosedale. You know, in many of my jobs, I was supposed to make phone calls to people, but I didn't actually feel accepted by these calls when somebody said hello, right? So that was my problem. It wasn't theirs, right? But what I did, I give them an excuse that, oh, I didn't call you back because I thought you were busy. I was projecting onto them that to make myself have this false sense of security, you know, the false face, the mask. But in reality, I couldn't face them because I thought they were better than me, maybe, or I felt intimidated. So I didn't really want to talk about it back then. You get it, guys? So we got to know, what habit am I carrying that I need to release? I needed to release the projection. So actually, that was really my fear of rejection. So the false face that I dropped years ago, is I did it through all of the spiritual practices that I have and the communities I was a part of. And all I needed to do was to drop all of that was some inside work. Boom, boom. So I cleaned up that habit of projection in myself. And in this article that I read the other day to really bring it on home was called Are You Psychologically Disguising Your Low Self-Esteem? Great article. And it said that projection is something people hate to admit to because it suggests that they have low self-esteem, even though many people struggle with it. People struggle with it. Don't let it get you twisted. They may have a big boisterous act that they put on, but let me tell you something, it's truth. See, often what happens, people with low self-esteem, they have this low confidence level as well. So this can also make people feel vulnerable and weak and sometimes diminished because because you know why? People feel that when somebody has a lot of confidence that he's more credible or highly valued. So everybody tries to pretend sometimes. Certain people try to pretend like they have this big way about them, but actually it's a lot of intimidation inside. But you know, a common sign of suggestion with projection when you're doing it or when someone else doing is when you notice somebody's making inaccurate assumptions about another person and how they're thinking or how you think, or how you say they're feeling. You don't know how other people are thinking. But some people may go on as far as accusing other people for no reason. Like somebody could say, oh, I know you were out there cheating on me, but they were the ones cheating, you know, and things like that. So you got to know, like when we play cards, somebody would say, hey, it's you cheating and you're actually the one cheating. You got to watch that one that calls out that other person. Too, my family love to play spades. I don't play with them. You know, they cheat. But so do I. But no, anyway, that's enough. So here's the thing. When we embrace our vulnerability, our feelings of fear, and our insecurities, what we do, we get that all replaced by happiness. I'm serious. When I learned how to embrace my vulnerability and speak my truth to people, boy, I am having a lot of pleasant emotions. I have more pleasant emotions now than I've ever had in my entire life. Okay, because now the other ones can't really come up because when I see them coming up, I said, I see you, back off. So when we put a stop to projecting our feelings onto other people, oh my God, it's an incredible amount of energy that we free up in our own bodies and for our own goodness and in that relationship. Oh yeah. See, this is the thing. They can start being more expressive with their feelings when you let go and be honest and true. Let your vulnerability show, but it opens up our capacity for living our best emotions. It's for us. Let it go. Let it go. So when we recognize our tendency to project things onto others, let's stop doing that. And we can improve the dynamics of our relationships and we can truly, 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 truly live out loud. So in a nutshell, to live out loud is to fully express ourselves authentically and live how we are meant to live. Now, here are some of the things that you may want to know about owning your authenticity is this. Vulnerability promotes integrity. Integrity promotes authenticity and it keeps us grounded in our truth. So you're not living somebody else's truth. And then how do you think I did that? By standing in my spiritual practices and really actually doing them and making it a practice. I can't live without my spiritual practices anymore. I don't know how I did it all those years. But of course, though, let me just say, spiritual practice, what it does is it really does help strengthen our vulnerability, our muscles, our integrity, our everything, so we can live out loud with authenticity. And that's what I like. So you might need to know this too. In speaking up for yourself, if it burns bridges, turn around, look at that bridge and walk away and say, burn, baby, burn. Because you don't want to be back there still trying to prove to those or that person that I am whatever. Because when you put enough spiritual practice in, you go within to the center of your being. And by learning all of these different practices, oh my God, and then getting to spend the time in these practices, you get to develop the courage and be vulnerable and stand in your truth. And so stand and stand regularly in it too. See, the more I practice mindfulness, the closer I brought myself to my center space. And this is what you can do too. You are no different to me. You are no different from me, no better than me, no worse than me. So looking back, I remember it appears as though I used to be trying to live a life that someone else was wanting me to live, which means that I was someone else. But you see, all throughout my life, and it's happening to you too, Spirit keeps provoking me. Kept provoking me, just like it's provoking you to live out loud. And if you're not happy, it's because you're not following that provocation. Is that right? Oh, Alan said I'm right. Okay, so no more hiding behind imaginary knives, mask everybody, okay? No more, stop it. So anyway, I just had to get all that out before I talked about what we're getting ready to do now. Remember, drop the face, drop the mask. So today, well, this month is Women's History Month. And so what we're getting ready to do, I'm thinking like this when it comes down to Women's History Month as well, is that there had to be a lot of powerful women who lived out loud in their time on this earth, and they're our ancestors. But today, Dr. Wanda is going to bring to light a fabulous, powerful Native American woman named Wilma Mankiller. And she is the first female principal chief. She was, right, the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. So she's going to do that for us. But before that, I just want to read this quote right by her to show she lived out loud. She said, one of the things my parents taught me, and I will always be grateful, is to not ever let anybody define me, but for me to define myself. So you know Wilma Mankiller was the one. So with that being said, Dr. Wanda, please unmute yourself and bring it to us, the whole Wilma Mankiller.
Good morning. I'm so glad to be here and able to introduce you to one of our ancestors, Wilma Mankiller, who was born in November 18th, 1945 in Tualamoth, Oklahoma. She was an amazing woman. She is honored and recognized as the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, the only female principal chief of a nation, because in Native American lore, there have never been women that led the nations, although Native Americans have been matrilineal forever. And so what happened with her is that she recalled that she never felt poor growing up in the family's rural ancestral home with no electricity, indoor plumbing, or telephones. When she was 11, the family was moved to San Francisco as a part of the Indian Bureau's relocation policy to move Indians off federally subsidized lands with the promise of jobs in America's big cities. As usual, the government wanted that land. However, when they arrived in San Francisco, there was no home, there was no job. They were shoved into a building in the Tenderloin in San Francisco. Her father then became a warehouse worker and a union organizer in 1993. Mankiller described the move as my own little trail of tears, a reference to the forced removal of Cherokees from the Southeast by federal troops. Her father's ancestors had been forced to relocate Indian territory from Tennessee over the Trail of Tears in the 1830s. She developed her own social activism in 1969 when a group of American Indians took over the federal penitentiary on Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay and laid claim to it by right of discovery to expose the suffering of American Indians. Mankiller recalled, when Alcatraz occurred, I became aware of what needed to be done to let the rest of the world know that Indians had rights too. Indian lives mattered. She had also become friends with Gloria Steinem, the outspoken women's rights advocate in Berkeley and around the world in the 60s. I was fortunate enough to be there during that time in Berkeley and got to meet them. Mankiller worked to empower the surrounding Native communities in California, serving as a director of Oakland's Native American Youth Center. She believed that restoring pride in Native heritage could reduce the downward spiral of Native youth growing up in the streets, the displaced urban Indians. She supported the California's Pit River Tribe in its legal battle against Pacific Gas and Electric over the rights to millions of acres of the tribal land. She won. Returning to Oklahoma in the fall of 1976, she was hired by the Cherokee Nation as an economic stimulus coordinator. With her expertise at preparing documentation, she became a successful grant writer, and in the early 1980s was directing the newly directed Community Development Department of the Cherokee Nation. As the director, she designed and supervised innovative community projects, allowing rural citizens to identify their own challenges, focusing on and through labor participation in solving their own problems. Through those efforts, she was able to give a hand up to the natives there, not a handout, and to help them to build a 17-mile pipeline to bring running water to the reservation. The full-length feature film was made about this, called The Cherokee Word for Water. Mankiller was elected to serve as the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation in 1985, and under her 10-year leadership, guiding a sovereign nation, the population more than doubled from 68,000 to 170,000. She revitalized the nation's tribal government, advocated relentlessly for improved education, healthcare, and housing services, and infant mortality decline. She was a consensus builder. She worked with the federal government to pilot a self-government agreement for the Cherokee Nation and with the Environmental Protection Agency. As the tribe's leader, she was the guardian of centuries of Cherokee tradition, customs, including legal codes, and chief executive of a tribe with a budget that reached $150 million a year by the end of her tenure. Her successes earned her national recognition as Ms. Magazine Woman of the Year in 1987. She was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in 1993, and in 1998, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor from President Bill Clinton, and was then invited by Clinton to moderate the Nation-to-Nation Summit, in which leaders of all 549 federally recognized tribes got together to resolve issues concerning jurisdiction, law, resources, and religious freedom. It was followed by a conference in Albuquerque, which included the U.S. Attorney General and Secretary of Interior. As a result of the two meetings, the Office of Indian Justice was finally established by the Department of Justice. Her autobiography, Mankiller, A Chief and Her People, was published in 1993. It is inspiring and well worth reading. When asked to send a pair of shoes to an American Indian art exhibit, she sent a pair of her ordinary walking shoes, claiming they were the normal shoes she wore everywhere. Remember, I am just a woman who is living a very abundant life, Mankiller said. Every step I take forward is on a path paved by strong Indian women before me. When she retired, she continued to be an activist. There was so much more. It would be impossible to go on to all that she was able to do. After the power and respect that this woman had earned over the years, when she died, Gloria Steinem said that when someone dies in the Indian territories, that a fire is lit so that smoke and the light can lead them on their way home. Gloria Steinem said, this is the tradition, to light the fire. So after that, when she made that announcement, fires were lit in 128 countries for this woman. That is the power of what she did. One woman who stood her ground, that never let anyone else define her, who defined herself as American Indian Woman of the Year, an honor bestowed to her by the Oklahoma Federation of Indian Women. Her induction into the Oklahoma Women's Hall of Fame, she was awarded an honorary doctorate from the University of New England and received a citation for leadership from Harvard University. That was Wilma Mankiller.
Make it hot, as they say, when you put that cheese in there. Whoa, Dr. Wanda, that was hot. Ooh, I can't even touch it. Wow, that's living out loud. if I've ever heard it before. My girl was on it, boy. She said, no, we're not having it. We're going to go after it. We're going to win this thing. So now, Dr. Wanda, I just got to thank you for that awesome presentation for Wilma Man Killer. I really appreciate that. Just remember that this week when you start to think about what is living out loud to me? What does it mean to me? What would I be? And basically, all you got to do is remember, I am, because you know what I am means. I am is God. And that means that I am that's in you is greater than the world. So be that. Live out loud, speak, and tell people what you want and stand in your truth. And now what? Right on. Ah, do your thing, Alan. I'm handing the mic back to my brother, Alan.
Wow, thank you so much. And as you literally passed the mic over to me, so I decided to walk on the runway to pick up the mic. But wow, what a message. They're transitioning from low self-esteem to becoming vulnerable to becoming authentic. And wow, from Reverend Rosedale's personal story to Wilma Man Killer to RuPaul to each and every one of us, we each have our own journey to become more authentic, to be our true selves, and to let our authentic light shine. Wow. So now I invite you to just go ahead and take a deep breath. Now it's time for us to invite the assistance of this community in order to engage the state of Charlotte community in the preparation towards the succession of future generations. Leaders just like you and me are created to fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles. Donations are made through time, talent, and treasure by people just like you who not only see and feel the need for a community like this, but who want it. So now, I invite you to go to our website, cself.org, and press the donate button where you can make your donation payable through credit card or check be payable to CSelf. Your tip can be made to the address on our website. Donation can also be made through Zelle and Venmo, as additional information can be found on our website. But now I invite you to just take another deep breath and place your hand on your heart. Now, as we all reflect this together, I want you to really just feel the words just permeate every being of your soul. All right. Prosperity and abundance flows from a law of circulation, of giving and receiving. As I give to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, I give of my time, talent, and treasure, which opens the path to my grateful return of good 7 times or more in my life. I am grateful for the universal power that exists to continuously open the path for all prosperity and abundance that we all receive, and I now prosper. So take another deep breath and fully let this wind permeate every cell in your body. As we recognize that there is a fantastic that lives within each and every one of us that has created the universe, that has created all life on all the planets, that is present in every green stain and every drop of water on the planet. And we are connected with it because we are all part of the same infinite source, the same infinite intelligence, and the same power. So right here in the moment, we recognize that who He is, and we see that the cycle of life is keep returning to everything again. All of our dreams, all of our desires. It's just a natural part of life, of giving and receiving, of ebb and flow of life. So we easily claim our good, remembering that we are connected, that we are the only reasons, that we all are able to be authentic day by day, a little bit and to step forward and our purpose and our passion, just like all of these women before us. So with much gratitude for this wonderful, powerful service and for one's present here, I release these declarations out into that powerful force, that powerful universe, knowing that everything is coming together right here and right now in a fabulous, fantastic way. And so it is. So now I call upon our co-pilot, our main pilot, our home peace pilot, and also another fabulous soul to know, Ken Patterson.
Thank you, Brother Allen. Good day, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you to our special first-time guests and returning guests. We're happy to have everyone here in Zoom and on Facebook. So we're looking at our website and social media links. We invite you to connect with us. You heard mentioned several times today that living out loud and shining bright takes some inside work. So we have several opportunities for you to do that during the week. So we invite you to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org. And on the homepage, you're going to be greeted with a form requesting you to subscribe to our updates. These updates will arrive to you in your email. So we ask you to add us as a known contact so we don't end up in your spam folder. And be sure and check your email often. We send several notifications through the week, so we want to make sure that you stay up to date with all of our latest happenings. Visit us on Facebook, where we post inspirational quotes and things throughout the week. It's another opportunity for us to engage with one another, and it's fun. We have a YouTube channel where we post our weekly services. You can go back to probably the last 3 or 4 months and re-listen to any one of our services in video format. And then we ask you to also join our meetup channel. We are amazed by how well it's performing. We weekly are attracting new people to our community. So when you get a chance, go out and let Meetup know that you're attending our meetings, because all the algorithms help us broaden our reach. So we appreciate and thank you for your participation. Here is an image of our website. I am going to be referencing the More button you see in the upper right corner. It is where we have lots of other sub pages and links that are important. Once again, stay informed and connected. You can visit our website and get other ways to contact us. If your jam is picking up the phone and calling us, you can do that. You can email us or send us a letter in the mail. It all works. We love hearing from each and every one of you. So visit the website and avail yourself of any of our communication channels. Again, subscribing is really important. That will make sure that you stay informed about all of the happenings here at CSL Charlotte. The first opportunity that occurs weekly is on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. You've heard it referenced today. It is our weekly consciousness meeting. This is where we can come together and we reflect on the talks that we have on Sunday. And it's a little bit more informal as we're able to talk to one another, share stories. One of the things I enjoy is we do work to help lift each other up. We have a circle that we can all kind of be placed in or place our concerns in. And I promise you, by the end of the meeting, you will feel so much better. It is where we come together to practice together. Again, when we practice and do our internal and self-work, we start leveling up. And if we're plagued with feeling small or not feeling authentic or confident, this is a perfect place to come and develop your confidence and start leveling up and shining bright. So visit the More tab. There's a weekly meetings and events link, and there's a short form where we need you to tell us that you're interested in that meeting. It happens on Zoom, but the link is different from the meeting today. So we want to make sure that you receive that link. So visit the More tab and sign up. We have certificated classes from time to time. Right now, we don't have any scheduled, but stay tuned. We'll have more in the future. We have some amazing poets in our community, and on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have our Heartbeat Poetry Club. Visit our weekly meetings and events link, and under the More tab, you're able to also request and express interest in our Heartbeat Poetry Club. We will send you the meeting invitation so that you can join us on Tuesdays as our poets share their talents each week. Our services are recorded in both audio and video format. The audio format is found on, well, both, you can access them from our website. Under the More tab, there's a Sunday service video that will take you directly to YouTube. And then we also have Sunday service audio link that has the most recent 4 or 5 services. You can access both of these from any of your electronic devices, your laptop, your phone, and the links are available. So if you happen to miss a service, you're traveling on vacation, you can always go back and find a replay. We have multiple prayer opportunities for you. The first is after prayer, we have a live prayer one-on-one opportunity for you. You can have a 3-minute prayer with one of our practitioners today. If you're interested, we ask you to go ahead now and inform Jariva Traylor, who is our prayer technician for today. At the end of the service, she will make sure that you get linked up with one of our prayer practitioners and receive your live prayer today. This is our very special gift to you. If you're on Facebook, there should be a link to bring you over to our Zoom meeting so that you can also participate. If you happen to be watching this recording and it's not Sunday, you can also receive prayer by visiting our website and following the prayer request link. Here you can give us your name and your concern, and one of our practitioners will receive your prayer, write a prayer. Our internal prayer team prays over it before it's sent back to you, and we will make sure to hold you in our hearts. We tell you that you can send a prayer request when things are not going well, or when things are going well and you want more of that in your life. Maureen Thurston is our prayer tree arborist, and I invite her to give us an update on our prayer tree.
Thank you, Timothy. We have 353.
Amazing.
Oh, now, what do we say? A community that prays together is a community that stays together. Wow, everybody, you're all so awesome. Thank you, Mo, for all the praying you do for us and keeping us all afloat. Hey, what can I tell you? And thank your whole team and fabulous platform. Before I get ready to thank all of you fabulous people here, I just want to say one thing. This is the time that we usually say something about birthdays. We tell people, hey. But the thing is this, we like to acknowledge your birthday because it's the time you were born, and you acknowledge yourself to the world. We wait for babies and we take it for granted that we're all flesh and blood, but I beg to differ. So I just want to say, take a moment, give us your birthday so we can chat and put it in the chat so we can just basically give you a hello, happy birthday, kind of things like that. So just drop it in the chat when you get a chance. And it would be great if we had every single week to talk about somebody's birthday, because what we would do if we did that every single week, we would know that we are touching the world. And that is the goal of CSL Charlotte, to get across the message to the world. So then, this is what I'll say. Just put it in there, put it in the chat for us. So as always, team, thank you, platform team, for this wonderful service. And thanks, Timmy P, for that awesome announcements. You are really inviting people to us in such a lovely way. I love the way you put things and added to the talk. It was just so fabulous. And then our great, awesome right-hand man, Alan, the A team is just too phenomenal. And then I love you all. And thank you so much, JT, for that fabulous reading, and Groovy G for keeping us in check and keeping the sound going well, muting us all when need be, and engaging on Facebook. Yes, everybody's doing so many different things. It's not a one-man band. Thank you, Melissa, for greeting and spotlighting us from behind the scene as well. And thanks for that great prayer, Reverend Millie, because it started us off and it got me on a spin there. And thank you, Dr. Wanda, for that powerful introduction for Women's History. I should call it the Women's History Moment at CSL Charlotte. That was powerful. It just added to this beautiful talk, as a matter of fact. She was a powerful woman. Yeah, she was a good example of talk of what was it? Living out loud. Yeah. So our emeritus spiritual practitioner, Maureen Thurston, aka Mo. If you haven't received a prayer from her in the email, thank you, Mo, by the way. If you haven't seen a prayer from Mo, you have not put in a prayer request. So I always say that so that people realize that, okay, I want a prayer request. I do want to see things change. Yes, when you prayer changes your mind about things. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You can get a prayer, a 3-minute prayer. You can do a prayer in 1 minute. Just say, God is, knowing what your intentions are. Come on now, go to our website, put in your prayer request at cslcharlotte.org today, because everybody's got a prayer on their lips. Come on now. And thanks, Melissa. Oh, I already did that. So I think I did that. And okay, and also our prayer tech, thank you, JT, in advance. Haha, I can even do that too. Hey, I got this. So anyway, prayer. Oh yeah, by the way, one more thing about prayer is that at the end of this service, if you're on Facebook, you will have time to journey on over by using our link and popping in and getting a one-on-one prayer. It's a 3-minute prayer. I guarantee you, when you walk in and walk out in 3 minutes, you will be better than you walked in. So take that time and opportunity to allow someone to pray for you. And as for our entire congregation, make sure you go to the website, subscribe, and put in a prayer request today. What's holding you back from your life? Nothing, I hope. So at any rate, let's just move on. So, okay, so now we're going to keep, before we close out, remember the words, live out loud this week. Let that be something, a chance when something is going on. Let's say your job is acting creepy all last week and all this other stuff is happening. Your relationship is whatever it is. Live out loud. If I have to speak my piece, then that means that I got to burn that bridge. Then I have to let that baby burn, right? Or if it doesn't burn, what else can you do? Come on, live out loud. Hey. Now I challenge you to remember to take that moment to reflect on your life and start reflecting on it more often than not. Okay, so now this last thing is so important that you got to do when you are during the week. So this week, I want you to remember that when you're happy inside, it's because of what happens to your mouth. If you can take the corners of your lips and push them up towards your eye, the corners of your eyes, you can smile, right? So once you do that, the whole inner side of you change. I promise you, try these things. I try all those things and I really feel my body move, and you should too. So if you work it, it works. Okay. That said, I'm going to say this last song, and I'm not going to sing it. I'm going to give you this last song, and then Reverend Millie is going to pray us out. Yes. Let's go with that song. So much better when you, you look so much better when you, you look so much better when you whoop, sing that song by myself. So you can smile before I stop. If you don't smile, I'm not gonna stop. Smile. Even though you hurt, you can smile. Yes, indeed, y'all. That's what we're doing here today. We're smiling. We are so smiling. Right on. So, what? No, Reverend Millie is here because she's going to pray us out, not because she's going to do her other thing. I got this. I got you, Reverend Millie. So, would you please pray us out, love?
Absolutely. And so right now, what I know to be absolutely true is that I take this time to just step immediately into gratitude. Step into gratitude for all that is going on before now, for the words that we heard from Reverend, from the words we heard from Reverend Rosedale, and for the music, for the team, for this time to be together, and grateful, so grateful to know that when we allow our vulnerability to come through, it strengthens our authenticity, and it allows us to live out loud, because within that vulnerability and that strength that we get from it, we know that when we come through on the other side, there's nothing holding us back because we've already been through it. So going through it and then expressing allows us to do so from the place of, I know this because I've been there and done that. And there is only one me, and this is who I am and who I'm going to be right now from here on out. And so I just give thanks. I give thanks for that. I give thanks for this time together. I give thanks for this prayer. And I release this prayer into the law, knowing that my words are still being handled by Spirit. It's being received by God, by Source, and acted upon by that law of mind that just says yes. And we can affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Whoa, and so it is, girl. We've already been through it. To get through it, you got to do it. I like that, girl. But I know what y'all waiting on. Y'all waiting for me to say, but I'm not. I did. Okay. So anyway, guys, what we're getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to adjourn myself, not Reverend Millie, because Reverend Millie is going to get you guys ready for that 3-minute prayer. And then JT is going to come in and swoop you all up into your break room. So with that said, guys, have a fabulous rest of your day. And come on over here from Facebook, you guys, and I will see you all later on.